Hey, it's Audrey with Changing Tides Energy. I'm feeling called to share with you a video. It'll be about 10 minutes long, and it's going to be about waking up to your own inner wiring and framework to help you see and experience life in this human form in a very different way. I hope that you all are doing well, and that's the gypsy out there. That's our home. My partner Scott's working on a little excavator I'll share a video about later on the Alaskan Gypsy Life channel. But for now, I just want to share with you, I have had another series of profound awakenings, and I'm inviting you into that space as well. Go ahead and get cozy wherever you're at, get comfortable. If you want to receive this message and this insight, ensure that you feel grounded in your space, ensure that you feel connected on a deeper level to yourself at this moment. We're going to go a little deep, and we're going to just open and expand our minds so that way we can continue to deepen and experience this life here in this human form on an even more profound level. I will share with you guys that I have been on my healing journey for years, probably all of my life, truthfully, but it was about 10 years ago, actually, that I really opened up to newer insights, newer changes, and I have always known, there's so much science to support this, and additionally, just awareness to really deepen that knowing. I have always known that the way that we are raised and shaped in this world as infants and child, and even into adolescence, how that can really curate our framework of what is normal, or what it conditions us to believe certain things. It conditions us, our wiring, our nervous system, to experience life in a certain way. Our thoughts can be directly impacted by the reality that we perceive. And honestly, most of it's an illusion, and awareness is the ultimate truth. But connecting our own soul and our own awareness into this freedom within our body and our minds is, it's a process for many. Sometimes you can just have a sudden awakening. However, we still have a body, and we still have a nervous system, and we still have wiring that sometimes can be conditioned not to be super supportive of that instant awakening. So I'd like to share with you guys a little bit deeper today about connecting with your attachments and your wiring from when you were young. So I share all that to say that I feel like having awareness of my childhood, I've mentioned before, I grew up in an alcoholic home. My parents, bless their hearts, they were, doing the best that they could, and they were not really aware of their own woundings and of their own traumas, and how they were just they were doing better than what their parents had done and their parents before that had done, but it's just been generational trauma. And here comes a jet. And you do the best you can with what you have. And in their experience, there was a lot of sickness and a lot of emotional immaturity, and a lot of struggle. And so I knew that being raised in an inconsistent home with support, and just watching them not show up for themselves, and then therefore for us, like, I knew that impacted me relationally. I knew that impacted my own self-worth, my own confidence. It was very clear, like, I wanted to never be like them. I wanted to have a different kind of family in life, and I wanted to provide like peace and harmony in a family unit someday. Unfortunately, I repeated the cycle to many regards. Many of us do, and that's how we clear and cleanse. That's how we clear and cleanse our karma. That's how we break the cycles and the patterns. It's not just by saying we're going to do something different. It's the living through it and then changing the pattern. And yeah, I knew it was a hard path to choose, and I was aware of that. And it was just my journey, and I have no regrets. 2 beautiful children. and a former husband that has been an excellent teacher for me on my healing journey. Sometimes you have to take the hard path, you know? But anyhow, so I was very aware. But one thing that I was not aware of until just recently, working with the somatic nervous system coach, I was unaware of the impact of pre-verbal attachment wounding, meaning that before you could talk, before you could articulate words, before you could articulate thoughts, when you're not met in a state of healthy attachment, so infant, toddler, if you're left, if your needs aren't necessarily met in a healthy way, or if you have a lot of absence and you left alone crying, and then you're given tons of love after, it just can create a very strange wiring. And honestly, waking up to that reality for myself has helped me see how my nervous system has been conditioned in a survival mode, because as an infant, if you don't get your needs met, or if they're inconsistently met, then it feels like in your body like you're gonna die. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? That feeling where you're just like, all of a sudden the fire turns on inside of your body. You get like just almost black inside. Your brain stops working. You all of a sudden feel like you can't breathe. The air's been sucked out of your chest. And it's just like disaster mind. And for me, it just hasn't made sense. Like, I'm in the most supported, loving, safe place in my life that I've ever been in the last few years. And this nervous system wiring has not been reciprocated. It's not a mirror anymore. It's a devastating misalignment. And anyhow, so I've woken up to the fact that wounding from that baby state has been so impactful for all of my relationships in my life, all of my experiences. And it's wild with the amount of work that I've done and awareness that I have, that I just never really connected those dots. And anyhow, the connection and the awareness brings opportunities for healing. It brings opportunities for profound shift. It brings an entirely new framework into my life and my realm. And I'm sharing this with you guys because maybe you have a similar experience. Maybe you have unhealthy relationship patterns or dynamics. Maybe you don't believe that you have self-worth to have a healthy relationship. Maybe even in a healthy relationship, you're showing up anxiously or with woundings that just don't make sense. Well, here's the solution. The solution is awareness. The solution is observing your experiences. The solution is taking note in your body, what you're feeling, where you're feeling it, naming that feeling for yourself, not being dependent on somebody else to fix that for you. And here's the trick: going deep within and loving and nurturing and accepting that younger part of you, giving her or him that tender love that you need, and reparenting yourself on the deeper level. It's deep work, and it's all given in the right time and in the right space. So don't force it. But if you start to get curious, if you start to feel a pressure or a tightness or a heaviness, and it just doesn't make sense to you, offer yourself the time and the space to dig a little bit deeper. And know that it may not always be what you remember. It may be pre-verbal attachment woundings. And something that is so interesting, this is so vulnerable for me to share, but ways that I have always self-soothed, that I wasn't really aware what it meant, but it just felt really lovely. I love putting my hands on my face, like almost like a baby, and it just feels so calming. I love rocking. I love movement and dancing. I love it. I also have always felt so supported by calming music, rhythmic music, almost like lullabies for adults. My friends used to give me a hard time because all my music was just so soft, but it was so good for my nervous system. And Anyhow, there's just different expressions within ourselves that make sense, right? We're survivors. We get wired certain ways, and then we try to come back to a state of harmony. And many of us don't. Many people, most people in this world are just walking around completely unaware and not open to this journey. But if you're watching this video, it's because you are open to this journey. And it's because you are in a deeper state of healing. And you're in the right place at the right time to really start to see and start to experience a different way of existing that is more in alignment with peace and harmony and complete soul and karmic clearing. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing in this vulnerable space with me. And just know that you're never alone in this journey. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear a little bit more of your experiences, or if this hits home for you at all. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Blessings and love and light to you always. Until next time.